All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today is September 16th, 2024. It is, I'm sorry, 19th. This says 16 here. Oh, it's printed on the 16th. That's a great start. Oh, there it is, 19th. Welcome to the Charter Oak Unified School District School Board meeting, and we are calling an audible football term. That's good. Because our president came ill and she took off, so we're gonna go about this without her. In closed session, actually, yeah, closed session. We have nothing to report. I'm in the wrong place. But roll call, everyone's here except for Mrs. McGuire. And report of action taken in closed session items. There's nothing to report on that. And we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll turn that over to Dr. Jordan.
Great, thank you. Good evening, board. It's wonderful having a full house here. Welcome, everybody. We're going to begin. Tonight is always our celebration of a school, and so I'm really proud to introduce the principal of Willow Elementary, Mrs. Lisa Berry, who will introduce her students, and we'll begin with the pledge. Mrs. Berry, welcome.
In the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Eric, don't go away.
I have a little something to say about Eric, too. Okay. All right. Come here really quick, Eric. Stand right here by me, okay? All right. So Eric joined Willow as a second grade student, and from the moment he stepped on campus, his vibrant personality has been lighting up the hallways. Eric quickly became very popular, not just with his peers, but throughout the entire school. His infectious energy is impossible to ignore. He greets everyone he encounters with a big, warm smile, making each person feel special. But Eric doesn't just stop at a smile. If you're lucky enough to cross his path, you'll be greeted with his signature handshake and an enthusiastic, "My man." Eric's charisma and zest for life extend beyond his interactions with others. He loves to show off his cool dance moves, sing his favorite songs at karaoke, impress everyone with his boxing skills, and all things Super Mario. Eric is more than just a bundle of energy. He's a friend to everyone and leaves a lasting impression on all who meet him. His teacher, Mrs. H., and the staff at Willow are incredibly proud to have Eric as a part of the Willow community. Every day, he exemplifies the best of what it means to be a student, kind, passionate, and full of life. Eric Santa Cruz is truly a shining star at Willow. Thank you, Eric, for representing Willow and leading us in the flag salute.
Eric, come out here to the middle. Congratulations, Eric. I know when we go out and do site visits and go into Eric's classroom, he is always the first one greeting us at the door and welcoming us to the classroom. So thanks, Eric. Don't change, whatever you do. Second, we're going to honor our superstar student from Willow. So Mrs. Berry.
Okay, I'm going to ask Mahalet Girma to join me. All right. Every school should be fortunate enough to have a student like Mahalet Girma. She's an exceptional young lady who has consistently demonstrated outstanding qualities throughout her academic journey, making her a true asset to Willow. Mahalet is not only an exemplary student, but also a natural leader and a role model for her peers. She regularly goes above and beyond to help others both in and out of the classroom. Whether arriving early to offer a hand or simply being present for those in need, her selflessness and genuine concern for others define her character. One of Mahalet's greatest strengths is her ability to serve as a patient and supportive peer mentor. With a natural gift for guiding and inspiring her fellow students, she is often sought out for help, knowing she will provide encouragement and thoughtful assistance. Her peers trust her, not just for her academic abilities, but for the kindness and compassion she brings to every interaction. Mahalet's impressive aptitude for technology is another one of her standout traits. She is a proud member of the tech team, a role she cherishes. She has taken the initiative to learn how to troubleshoot and repair school technology, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Her problem-solving skills, attention to detail, and determination have proven invaluable, and she even assists with district technology assignments. Mahalet's drive to excel and her adaptability set her apart as a true leader. In the classroom, Mahalet consistently exhibits a strong work ethic and an enthusiasm for learning. She comes to school prepared and actively engages in every lesson. Her love for learning is particularly evident in her passion for math, which she describes as both fun and challenging. When faced with difficult problems, Mahalet's approach is to take a deep breath and give it her best effort, embodying resilience and perseverance. Her aspirations reflect her academic dedication as she dreams of attending college, possibly UCLA, after high school to study medicine or become a doctor or nurse. With her determination, there's no doubt Mahalet will achieve those goals. Beyond academics, Mahalet's integrity shines through in everything she does. She consistently chooses to do the right thing, earning the respect of both her peers and teachers. Her strong moral compass, coupled with her kindness and courtesy, creates an atmosphere of respect and inclusion wherever she goes. She embodies the spirit of community that we cherish at Willow. Mahalet is not only an exceptional student, but a remarkable individual who represents the very best of Willow. Her dedication to learning, her integrity, and her kindness make her a role model for us all. As she continues her journey, we have no doubt that Mahalet will accomplish incredible things both academically and personally. Thank you, Mahalet, for being Willow's superstar student.
Mom and Dad coming up to yes. Yeah, besides would you like to join us?
Oh, okay.
Now the party's about.
Okay, and last, we are always appreciative of our community support and our volunteers. So at this time, Mrs. Berry is going to introduce her partner in education.
To join me as my partner in education. Education is a shared responsibility that involves more than just our teachers and staff. It thrives because of the support of parents like Amy Rose. Her consistent dedication and willingness to go the extra mile for the success and well-being of our students continue to make a lasting impact on our school. Amy has been a vital part of the Willow community for the past 7 years. She has served on the PTA for 6, holding roles such as Secretary, 4th Vice President of Volunteers, and First Vice President of Membership. In addition, Amy has volunteered on numerous field trips for both of her children's classes, assisted in classrooms when needed, organized fundraisers for the 6th graders, and generously donated supplies whenever there was a need. Amy is someone I can always count on to help wherever she is needed, exemplifying reliability and dedication in every task she undertakes. Her tireless dedication has left a lasting impact on Willow, enriching not only the educational experience of our students, but also fostering a sense of unity and community that is at the heart of our school. We are appreciative for all that she has done to make Willow a better place. It is with great pride that we recognize Amy Rose as Willow's partner in education, honoring her exceptional service and commitment.
You have it.
All right, we are next going to move on to item number 9, student representative introduction and reports. Dr. Jordan.
Great, thank you. So we're excited tonight as we start the new year. We've got some new board reps from our high schools. But before we talk about our reps, I'm going to ask Mr. Doltz to come up, and he's going to introduce the Charter Oak High School student who's going to be the representative this year for our district to the Glendora City Council. Mr. Doltz.
All right. Thank you, Vice President, as well as the members of the board, Dr. Jordan, and members of cabinet. As Dr. Jordan said, that we do have student reps that always come every board meeting to represent us here at our own district board, but I'm going to call up Mitchell Gibbons to step aside right here. He's going to be representing us at the Glendora City Council, and we do that. We select a student that lives in the Glendora borders to represent us and take part in their meetings. So a little bit about Mitchell. He is a senior at Charter Oak. He is a member of the football and soccer teams, has been on the varsity teams for the last 3 years, right? Also got named to the San Gabriel Valley Tribune's 2024 All-Valley team, so congratulations there. But he's not just an athlete. He's also a part of our IB program. He's on track to be a diploma recipient, so we hope that he's going to fulfill that commitment. He also serves in our community with the Charter Oak Youth, but he loves spending time with his family and his friends, loves being out in nature, and his biggest inspiration is is really stressed always doing the right thing, which I know that he's going to continue to carry on that tradition. So he also wants to make sure that he does spend time and give his life to the community in service. So Mitchell Gibbons, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mitchell. We appreciate you representing us, and we'll invite you back at the end of the year to get some updates and to be able to say thank you for your service for this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we do have a motto, right, Mitchell?
Yeah.
What is it?
Never miss.
Never miss. Thank you. Okay, and that will now, Mr. Dolce, thank you. That'll take us now to our new board reps. Before we have them do the report, I asked if they would just tell a little bit about themselves. So why don't we start with Azuri, who is the representative from Charter Oak High School. You can do it right there from your seat. Just turn on your microphone.
Hi, my name is Azuri Valentine. I am an IB course candidate. I just created my film in June of 2024. It premiered in North Carolina, and it is now an award-winning film where I got a Best Music Award. I am also a part of the National Honor Society, and I was BSU president last year, which was my junior year.
All right, well, welcome. And then representing Arrow High School is Logan Creighton. Logan, welcome.
Hello, sir. My name is Logan Creighton. I am a senior at Arrow Continuation School. This is my first full year there. And after high school, I plan on joining the Navy and living my life there.
Well, welcome. Okay. Mr. Peterson, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir. All right, welcome to you two. It's going to be fun and enlightening for you every meeting that we have, so thank you for being here. All right, we're going to move on to item 10. Oh, I'm sorry, now we're going to have them read the reports. Azuri, why don't you go first?
Hi, again. I will be talking about Willow's Wellness Center. So firstly, Willow's Elementary School is thrilled to share the district's vision for equity and wellness by incorporating our new community schools program specialists and mental health services into our school. Through generous donations from our PTA, we were able to make our vision for a comprehensive wellness center a reality. In alignment with COUSD's vision to teach the whole child, student well-being is a paramount for Willow Elementary School. The Wellness Center offers a calming and nurturing space where all students, TK through 6, can benefit. It serves as an educational resource to teach and give space for students to learn positive wellness competencies like self-regulation, self-management, emotional and social mental health skills. Upon leaving Wellness Center, students will be decompressed, empowered, and more prepared to better manage themselves throughout the school day. All students, staff, and families are welcome to enjoy this wellness service. Ms. Morrison, our new program specialist, reports having over 80 students visit the Wellness Center in the first several weeks of school starting. Students are excited to talk and learn positive mental health strategies and have a safe space to unwind. Dozens of parents have also visited our new Wellness Center and are excited to connect to their school and see students supported in therapeutic and proactive ways. Teachers are loving the space and have signed up for classroom visits as well.
Go ahead, Logan.
Willow kicked off the school year with excitement and energy to welcome everyone back from summer. We hosted popsicles with the principal the day before school started, giving families a chance to visit our campus and connect. On the first Friday, students participated in our superhero training academy, where they rotated through various activities, learned about our school expectations, and attended a motivational assembly to set the tone for an amazing year ahead. We also invited parents back for coffee with the principal, where they received valuable insights into the iReady diagnostics and how to interpret the child's results. Our Tier 1 and Tier 2 results have been hard at work, reviewing data to create and implement a proactive plan. Teachers are actively using to severe model and have established community agreements. The strengthen our school culture. Teachers are also completing the strengths and needs screener, which will provide the essential data We need to develop targeted interventions that address the root causes and support child success. With such a strong start, we're excited to see what this year takes us.
All right, thank you, Logan.
We also have both of our reports from our respected schools. So I will go on to talk about what is happening at CO, but I want to say good evening to the board, Dr. Jordan, and the executive cabinet. My name is Azuri Valentine, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share all the amazing things that are happening at CO. So firstly, the COHS ASB hosted our annual Welcome Back Luau so students can enjoy one last night of summer on campus before the first day of school. On the first day of school, students were welcomed back by being greeted with music, a line of enthusiastic teachers, and our cheerleaders before heading in through our brand new inflatable tunnel to commemorate the start of the 2024 through 2025 school year. On September 11th, we held our academic recognition rally in the gym, where over 500 students were celebrated for earning academic achievement, principal honors, and academic honors recognition. This celebration was mixed with performances by our COHS band, choir, and cheer team. We also held a registration workshop for students and their families who plan on taking AP and IB exams in the spring. Our Future Chargers Night football game was held on Friday, September 13th, where future Chargers from our elementary and middle schools went out on the field to be part of a tunnel that our players ran through pregame. Yesterday, our school held Club Food Day, where students, including myself, came out to participate in other clubs with great variety of different foods. And now for our fall sports update. Football is currently 3-1. They have a bye week this week and will play in San Diego against Mira Mesa next Friday. Volleyball is 10-1, and their league is 2-0. Boys water polo is 2-7. Girls tennis is 1-1. Girls golf played a scrimmage versus Upland in late August. They won their first game this past Tuesday. Their team starts league play today versus Cobina, but they had 5 matches canceled due to excessive heat and smoke in the air. And lastly, for sports, girls flag football had its first game ever against Northview yesterday and lost 12-19. And here are some upcoming events. Next Friday marks the end of our grading period. The COEF Oak Tree Challenge takes place on our campus Saturday morning, September 28th. Our fall night rally will be on Wednesday, October 2nd, and our theme for the night is Radiator Springs. We have a pupil-free day on Monday, October 7th for parent conferences. There will be 2 sessions. The first will run from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the second will go from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And finally, our counselors will be hosting a parent college info night on Thursday, October 10th in the library from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Members of the board, here is my report for Arrow High School. Arrow High School ASB is currently running a sock and hygiene product drive for the District Resource Center. These items are most needed by the residents in the community. ASB has this drive annually to help people that need it most. Our back to school night had a nice turnout on August 29th. Many parents attended to meet the teachers, get to know what their students are learning in class, and the possibilities of the outcome in the next year. This Friday, September 20th, Arrow High School will be hosting a school-wide taco event. This is our first huge event of the year. Tacos, rice, and beans will be served.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, so with that, I know it's gonna be a long night. So those who are here from Willow, if you would like to leave now, go get some dinner. Thank you for being here. Those who are gonna be speaking, you'll be coming up on the agenda here in a few minutes. But those from Willow, if you wanna leave, you're more than welcome to. Not to take away from your report.
Or you can stay and enjoy the whole evening.
Good job.
It's okay. It's okay.
First time.
Next time we could just agendize a little reward and recognition.
All right. We're going to get going again. We're going to move on to the ROP report. Item 10, Ms. Flores?
Good evening, everyone. And on the ROP front, we're sad to report that the governor took our $10 million grant for our Career Pathways program. However, they promised to give us some of that back. More to come. If we need you to advocate or support ROP, we will let you know. But for now, that's where we stand. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, superintendent report. Dr. Jordan.
Okay, thank you. Good evening again. A couple of things just want to kind of update. First of all, really proud that we are celebrating this month Hispanic Heritage Month, and I know that we'll keep talking more about that. So that's wonderful that what our schools are doing for all of that. I'd like to take a minute also. Where is Emily at? Emily Hernandez. Where'd she go? She's out there taking pictures. Grab her really quick, please. I want to introduce everyone officially to Emily. You'll see her at schools. You'll see her walking around with me at events and so on and so forth. But Emily is our new public communications specialist who started for us back on June 1, and we've used her now as in-house support as opposed to going to an outside source on that. So here's Emily. Come on up really quick, just to put a face and a name together. Emily comes with a really good communications background. She's worked in the private industry, and what's been very refreshing is that when we meet, she brings really good ideas on the things that we can do to showcase our district, showcase our student performances, and just really has been instrumental and hit the ground running. You think she's been doing this for 30 years for Charter Oak. So welcome. We appreciate you. Now everybody knows who she is. Who's that lady walking around with the camera? It's Emily. Thanks.
Right now.
Yeah. I'm also pleased with the recommendation and that Ed Services has done, and then this board approved over the summer. This year, we were able to also hire longtime teacher from Charter Oak High School, Kim Ertl, and she is the new English learner teacher on special assignment. And that's really important because her job district-wide is to help support all of our folks that are at the school sites with materials, resources, training, and whatnot on how to support better our English learners. And she's also hit the ground running, and so we really appreciate her. Just wanted to recognize that as well. I want to thank really all of our staff. Man, you know, it doesn't feel like it today, but a couple of weeks ago, we were going through a major heat wave. We were dealing with smoke from neighboring fires that were just devastating. But I really want to just commend staff at all levels for really doing the best that we could to keep school moving forward and supporting our kids and teaching and learning. I can tell you, you act like I did this for 40 years at the elementary school. I have not. But I know that at elementary schools, when it rains or it's excessive heat, that's a challenge for them because the kids stay indoors. And when the kids stay indoors, that means that there's adults staying indoors. And so I really want to thank everybody who really just kept things moving. All of our athletic teams, I mean, that is always a big concern of ours, the health and safety of students, and knowing that parents were getting calls probably at the last minute that contests were canceled or that practices were being moved inside or to the evening. And I know it's disappointing because our athletes want to compete, but also at the end of the day, as a district, we've got a responsibility to make sure that they're safe. And so everyone worked through it. Thank you to all of them for doing that. And again, just want to say thank you also with our students. It's been a phenomenal start to the school year. And we've gone out now and started doing our visits in the classrooms with Cabinet and myself. And just the energy that the kids have right now and the attentiveness of what they're doing, really great things are going on, and we're real pleased with that. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, that's going to take us to presentations. Dr. Jordan.
Okay, well, the last couple of board meetings, we have been doing some information items for the board, and really that centers around several things that we're trying to do with a long-term vision for Charter Oak Unified. Namely, one of those things that we've been focusing on right now are what are ways that we can potentially look at our existing assets to invest those for long-term gains. And so last month, we were able to talk about options that you have with resources of our assets. And then this month now, we're going to be a little bit more specific based off of the direction that the board gave us. So let me turn this over to Kirill Bradford, who will introduce Serene and talk about our next steps with property exchange.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Good evening, board. I am pleased to introduce Serene. Serene is with Orbach, Huff, and Henderson, and as Dr. Jordan laid out, she will be going over some information for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirill, for that introduction. Good evening, board. Thank you for having me. Okay, as Dr. Jordan said, we had previously covered some options relating to school district property disposition and wanted to just recap what was presented at the last meeting for the board's refresh as well as for the community. So at August 15, 2024 open session, the board received a presentation on real property disposition options, including the surplus property statutes that, of course, you're required to comply with for sale or long-term lease of property, and then also alternatives to the surplus property disposition option, which includes the exchange option, which was focused on in a little more detail at the last meeting. So again, to recap, what the exchange option allows for, and this is pursuant to Education Code 17536, is that the district may exchange any of its real property for real property of another entity. And the exchange shall be upon the terms that the parties may agree to. So of course, how that gets negotiated and brought to the board for approval is a purchase and sale exchange agreement. And the board shall adopt by a 2/3 vote a resolution declaring its intention to exchange the property at the time that the purchase and sale agreement is approved. So procedurally, those would be the steps, and that's what's required pursuant to statute. We got direction at the last meeting to spend a little more time looking at the options relating to a potential exchange. And you see here that we've provided an aerial of possible property exchange options for the site that currently houses the Sunrise Christian School. And hopefully everyone can see that. And what it offers in terms of potential options, and this is just for discussion purposes, is areas outlined in blue, yellow, and then the entire site outlined in red. So the areas outlined in blue, which is primarily what the Sunrise Christian School leases, is a total area of approximately 7.31 acres. And just to caution everybody, these are not precise. We have not obtained a survey. These are our best calculations based on being able to measure it in the aerial. And then just to, again, bring clarity to how the aerial was prepared. So what's outlined in blue, you can see on the left-hand side is also underlined to show the total acreage for that area. The second option is what's outlined in yellow, and that's more of an L shape. That's the green space around the area that we've identified and what we previously discussed as the area that's primarily leased by the Sunrise Christian School, and that's approximately 5.36 acres. And then, of course, we have a total site acreage of 12.63 acres for the entire property. So these are just some potential options of how you could consider if you were considering, for example, a site like this and a potential exchange of some of the site, all of the site, how that could be broken up for the board's consideration.
Thank you, Serene. So I think for the board, as we just continue giving you options, part of the discussion tonight is maybe get clarification. One of the questions you may have is, why did you break it up into 3 areas? Well, a couple of reasons why. Number one, you could look at it, as Serene said, in its whole as an entirety. That could be an option to exchange the entire piece of property. The other part of the option is you can maintain the school as is. And then what you see in that L-shaped, that could be potentially to somebody if they wanted to exchange that part of the property. So those are just some of the different directions. I know we have also sat a little bit with Sunrise Christian on this as well, because they have also expressed interest in potentially being able to do an exchange. But they're a small entity and they may be limited on liability. And I think what we talked last time is that an exchange means, just for clarity, if you do the entire property valued at whatever the dollar amount will be, then the company that wants this piece of property, they would find an equivalent type of property at that value someplace else. Once they secure that property, then you would actually then exchange this for that. Why would we do that? Well, right now, by renting out Sunrise Christian, that generates less than about $500,000 a year in revenue. And I say less than because there are still some expenses that we as the landlords have to uphold. If you remember what the topic is, we're trying to look outward for several years on how we can better financially put ourselves in a position, because really the only thing that we get from the state of California is funding for the number of students that come to school on an average daily. So when we look at something like this, if we could potentially enter an agreement with someone to exchange some or all of that property, and we could double or triple our annual revenue that's guaranteed for the next X amount of years, then that's the example of why I'm bringing forward to you ideas to think about. How do we better financially put ourselves in a spot so that when things do get tough to the state, we also have this to help offset that? I'll pause there for a second. And again, just to be really clear, no decision has been made on anything. We're just exploring options at this time.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rose.
I'm a little confused about the word exchange. I'm not sure how that exactly will work. And if the exchange involved will benefit the school district or benefit both sides, I'm not sure how that works. And can you give me an example? If it's just create a good scenario, how that exchange work?
So in a perfect world, you'd have properties that are valued at the same amount, and you literally just swap properties. So if the district, for example, wanted a warehouse facility that to expand its warehousing options and opportunities, it would exchange into a property that has a built-out warehouse facility, and the owner of that warehouse facility or housing the warehouse facility would exchange into the school district property. Of course, there has to be a valuation done of what the property values are for each property that's being considered for exchange. If they're not of equal value, then there would have to be an additional cash payment to the party whose, of course, property, they're receiving a property at a higher value and paying cash to make up the difference for the property, the other property. Hopefully I explained that the right way.
I was going to add another example, Mr. Rose, would be if we exchanged for a piece of property that had some type of retail service on there. Give you an example. It could be a McDonald's, it could be a Starbucks, right? They have their location. They pay rent, if you will, to have that particular franchise sitting on a piece of dirt. We own the dirt. They would then pay us for X amount of years an agreed upon sum to be able to keep their business on that particular piece of property. So that's an example of how you increase your revenue.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have some questions. Hi.
Hello.
When doing valuations of properties, in kind of an instance, as Dr. Jordan described, where let's say there's a retail business that leases part of that land, or a building that is built on that particular land, is that something that factors into the valuation, or is the valuation simply the real estate itself?
Yes, that absolutely factors in. And you'd have to get, of course, professionals to assist with the valuation part of it. But the short answer is yes, of course, it would absolutely factor in. And then you've got to understand it, I think, from the perspective of the school district and the long-term benefit, right? And then also looking at it, and I think it's a really good example that Dr. Jordan provided, because it's not, for example, just a sale and a one-time cash infusion. It's actually you're exchanging into a property that's going to generate long-term revenue for the school district. So the value of that absolutely has to be considered.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is a strong one in general. I mean, we have this property that we currently generate some revenue from, but to be able to utilize similar valued property for more revenue, then kind of sounds like a pretty smart thing to do, or at least explore. When looking for revenue or looking for land that can generate revenue, you mentioned how in a perfect world, you've got two pieces of property, equal valuation, equal swap, that's simple.
Which never happens, by the way.
Right, of course, yeah. So in a case that isn't that, I'm imagining then that one of the parties does essentially have to own or have acquired multiple pieces of land that in sum equal that value, right? So there could be multiple properties as long as together the sum equals the value of whatever is being exchanged.
You can. I think you can structure it that way. Of course, the documents would have to address that, that it is, that the exchange is for multiple parcels in exchange for one, right? For the school district parcel, maybe there's one or two that are exchanged for that piece. Of course, the district would have to do some extensive due diligence around that. But yes, you can structure it that way.
Okay.
Serene, if I can also add, I think another thing for the board to consider if we move forward is that my understanding is that if you were to exchange for a lesser value of property, then we could, at the close of escrow, receive the difference potentially in a cash settlement. And the reason why I say that is because as we keep talking about future projects that are needed around the district, that might be another avenue to explore so that we can complete some other projects that we want to be able to do as well.
Are those restricted funds when they come in? Are they unrestricted?
Those will go into our Fund 40 account. That will go into capital outlay.
Can you say that again? I'm so sorry.
Those would go into our capital outlay account for facilities. Facilities, technology.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One more, liability wise. Are we exposing ourselves to more liability? Hypothetically, we do the exchange with Starbucks. With the Starbucks. Now we own the dirt on the Starbucks and there's a traffic collision in the parking lot. Are we as landlords culpable?
I mean, we would, of course, want to, when we receive a property like that, make sure that we're comfortable with the existing leases in place, because those leases would be assigned to us. So in that process, we could build in more protections against that type of situation if it's not there in full force and to the extent that we typically require on behalf of the district.
Thank you, Mayor.
Still looking for maybe some direction from the board of what you would like to see next come forward.
Well, it seems like understanding the valuation of our properties, of our parcels, right, that's going to be something necessary to explore in order to then be able to kind of find out what any exchange could look like, right? I assume so.
I'd like to see Sunrise involved in this also, to see, what they would like to do, if they want to be involved in it. Maybe they want to purchase the entire area.
Yeah, they've been really very good partners and they're in the community and we have a really positive relationship with them. So we certainly can continue with conversations with them and see what goes next.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, next item. is other
I'm sorry.
presentation.
I have a question,
Oh, yes, sir.
Peterson. Judge Jordan, I have a question.
Okay.
Sunrise is counting on the number of students to maintain the revenue. Am I correct? Sunrise.
Yeah, so they're a private institution. Their revenue is non-state based, so it's based off of enrollment, tuition based.
So if, let's say, suppose down the line, Sunrise decided to fold because there's not enough student enrollment, what will happen to the agreement with the exchange property?
Under current,
No, if we enter in the exchange property, that come with liability. and
Yeah,
stuff.
so I think that part is hard to say, and the reason being is if you're exchanging the entire piece of property and Sunrise is not involved with that, then they would have to be informed that there may be a new piece of property that they're gonna need to rent somewhere else to run their school. Even if that happened tomorrow, that's still years out before that ever would take place.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to 2023, 2024 unaudited actual.
Okay, as Ms. Branford goes up to the podium, this is our annual report where we've closed the books out from the 23-24 year. As I wait for her to get up there, I just want to say that Charter Oak Unified is extremely lucky to have somebody with the ability and the skill set that Kirill has. We've worked out with her, I've worked with her now for 5 years, and the finance and how to be able to maneuver through budgets, through good times and tough times, she's the best. And so I just want to say thank you to her, thank her team for closing out the books, and we'll be hearing multiple times this year as there's other mandate reports we have to do. But Kirill, I do appreciate the work that you do and your team does, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jordan. Good evening, Vice President Peterson, board members, staff, and community. I am pleased to present to you the 2023-24 unaudited actuals report. The presentation and recommended approvals are an Ed Code requirement, Ed Code 42100. The unaudited actuals is the reporting of all the financial activities for the fiscal year that seeks to quantify the actual revenues and expenditures. It's also the report that updates the beginning fund balance of the 24-25 adopted budget that was previously approved in June by you. I also want to thank my fiscal team, as Dr. Jordan mentioned earlier. They really go above and beyond to get the work done in the business office, and I want to say thank you to them. Without further ado, I'll get into the numbers. So here, what I do is to look at the estimated actuals that was prepared when we did the adopted budget in June, and I did a comparison to the unaudited actuals, which we just closed the books. This slide shows the unrestricted side of the books. So we do have the general fund with restricted and unrestricted. And here I look at the difference or the variance just to kind of show what takes place in the business office, what takes place in the budget. And on our unrestricted general fund revenues, we are 1.12% difference from what we estimated, which is pretty good. So we've increased revenues $550,000 once we close the books. The expenditure side of the books, we have a negative 1.93% difference, which is a good thing. It means that we spent less than we estimated, which is a side that you want to be on. The next slide shows the restricted side of the books. This is where we have our categorical programs, our title programs, our local donations. And again, I did the same comparison. Looking at the revenues, we were under just 0.04%. Again, that's really good comparing to the estimated actuals. Our expenditures are a lot below than we projected. This, again, is the restricted side of the books. This is where we have all our categorical programs, and they are allowed to carry over balances to the next fiscal year. So having $3.3 million as a fallout is purely because those programs do roll over. This next slide, I wanted to show just the trajectory of the fund balances. So at the beginning fund balance, which was the actual closing balance for the 22-23 year, we started out with $7.3 million as the actual beginning fund balance. At first interim, we projected it to go down to about $6.5 million. Again, it's just the first quarter in the year. That's just a projection. At second interim, we did more adjustments, and it shows that the balance would go up slightly to $6.7 million. During the estimated actuals, when we were projecting the budget, it shows that we would end the year with 6.8. However, we ended with 8.3 million. Again, that's the place that you want to be in. It's about $1 million higher than the beginning fund balance. And part of the reason for that is that we had a lot of one-time grants that were ending. So all those federal ESSER funds that we had, they weren't all spent, and so I had staff go ahead and do some transfers, so that increased the unrestricted ending balance. This next slide, so knowing what we did at the adopted budget and understanding the importance of the fund balance, I wanted to do an update on our multi-year projection. And so again, we projected the beginning fund balance to be 6.8, and that's where I have a strike through on the 24-25. It turned out that we were higher. We closed the books with $8.36 million. So it put us in a much better place. However, in 25-26, we were projected to be short on meeting our 3% reserves. And so we were looking at bringing in approximately $360,000 just to be able to meet the 3% reserves. And so now that we have a higher fund balance, we are meeting our reserves. We're still deficit spending, but we are comfortably meeting our 3% reserves. Going into the 26-27 year, if you recall, we were short $3 million. And so closing the books with a little higher reserves helps us in the bottom line. So we're still deficit spending at $2.9 million, but we're now only needing $1.9 million to meet the 3% reserves. So having a higher fund balance actually helps us. And this next slide shows all the other operational funds. We have our student activity fund, we have our adult ed fund, our cafeteria fund, and our capital facilities funds. All funds, as you can see, are showing positive ending fund balances. So the next steps will be our first interim report. So I will be back here in December presenting that to you. And then we'll have the audited financial report. So we've closed the books. It's the unaudited actuals. The auditors will be here next month to audit the books. And then we'll have a report sometime in January from the auditors. That concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Just thank you so much for the work of your team. As you've been stating yourself, I mean, that's exactly where you want to end up. You know, we forecast and project for, tough times, and then when things have a windfall, then fantastic. It allows us to stabilize even better. So I'm glad to hear that we are continuing to be in a healthy place as we go year over year. Oh,
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, we're now at public comments. All right. We got a couple individuals and then we got a group. And so I'm gonna call the individuals first. Let's go with Richard Guerrero. Just as a reminder, on public comments, we have 3 minutes per individual and a total of 21 minutes on a subject.
Hello, my name is Richard Guerrero. I'm the grandfather of a varsity football player at Charter Oak High School. And I'm here to give thanks to the board, the principal, and his staff. Without you guys or without coaches, this would not be possible. So I want to give thanks for making the trip to San Diego possible. Maybe you don't realize that every athlete has the dream of playing for college. And by this trip, by sending these boys on this trip, that's going to fulfill a lot of the boys' dreams. Most of them won't play college ball, but this will be their opportunity to act just like a college player. They'll take the bus to the far, far away city to play a far, far away game. And I kept thinking, why are we going so far? But then I started thinking, putting myself in Coach Dom's head, this is probably what he intended, to give them the opportunity of a lifetime, to get on the bus, bond with their players, travel to a different city, practice in a big university stadium, and then play their game. If that's not a college experience, I don't know what is. So I thank you guys with the bottom of my heart for giving these boys opportunities to have that dream of a lifetime, a memory of a lifetime. Not only will they have that memory, they'll learn life skills. They'll learn how to be a little independent. They'll learn all the things to go along with this trip. And you guys made this possible. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's give them a hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. All right, Jason Cook, Covina Vikings, Youth Football and Cheer Organization.
Good evening, board. Kind of in a strange place, right, guys? So, you know, I'm here. I don't have a speech prepared. I'm going to go off the cuff and from the heart. I want to express my extreme gratitude to all of you for accepting the Covina Vikings on behalf of over 200 student athletes. This was big. We were left without a home this year. I'm not here to bash any other school districts, but West Covina Unified, Azusa Unified, Covina Unified, as you know, we were left without a home. And I didn't come to you first because of the space and out of respect for these young men. You know, you already had Charter Oak youth. So, you know, I was reluctant. But then I ran out of choices, and Bob Lynn and Coach Farrar, I put my application in, and I was called immediately. True example of community without borders. I mean, we're a city, and we are a community. We're one. And the byproduct of football is the teamwork, dedication, hard work, determination, all those things that you get out of football. It's not just a bunch of kids running into each other. There's so much thing. The leadership. Examples, this young man. I mean, when I came into this room and I've seen these Charter Oak kids here, all I see was confidence. And I've never of them, but that's what I see. I see confidence, and that's due to the coaches, due to the staff, everyone that's involved in their lives are giving them that. And I don't think you realize, or if you do, I want to reiterate the magnitude of your decision to accept us. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
All right, so this next group is on behalf of high school football. Subject is thank you. We'll start with Mr. Oh, we're gonna line. Actually, we're gonna line. Why don't you all go to line? You guys figure out who's going first.
Lucas, I got to go right.
But Taylor, you guys are on this too? No, it's not. You said it was all football.
Oh, we're not. Yeah.
But both of you?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll pull you guys.
But I can't.
Yeah, can you do me a favor and state your name, please?
My name is Kai Vivo. Oh. Hello, my name is Kai Vivo, and I'm a junior at Charter Oak High School. This is my third year playing football and my second year on the varsity team. I wanted to thank you, Charter Oak board members, for giving us a new locker room and a tunnel to go through out before our game to hype our community and for us being able to go to San Diego. Also, I wanted to thank Jeanette Flores and Greg Peterson for being best supporters and supporting us with everything. These changes have been impactful, and we thank you as a whole team for what you gave us. This new locker room has made us more confident, and the tunnel making us more hype, ready to fight our opponents at home games. And supporting our trip to San Diego, this will be the best experience for us, so we appreciate you so much. When I grow up and become successful one day, I want to give back to the community as Charter Oak board members who gave us something that none of us expected. I'm very inspired by you, and I do one day want to give back to the Charter Oak community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucas Rivera. I'm a student athlete at Charter Oak High School, and I'm a junior. And I just wanted to thank you, board members, for all the work you put in. It doesn't go unnoticed, all the sponsorships and fundraisers you guys help us with. And I just really wanted to thank Jeanette Flores specifically because I see her often at the games, and I oftentimes take pictures with her after the games, and it's a good community and a good bond that we have. So thank you guys.
Hello, my name is Aaron Rivera. I'm number 3 for Charter Oak Football. I want to thank the board and Jeanette Flores for all the support they have showed us throughout this season. I want to thank you for the new team room, as it has made a huge impact on our season, as it brings us much closer and has helped so much with our chemistry, which ultimately translates to the football field. I want to thank Jeanette Flores for always helping and going above and beyond for our football team with pregame meals, Saturday breakfast, and being there for us always. Thank you to the board and Jeanette Flores.
Good evening, board members. My name is Eduardo Campos, and I'm a junior at Charter Oak High School and a part of the varsity football program. Your support not only provides us with necessary resources, but also sparks a sense of community and pride among our players, coaches, and our supporters. Your belief in our path to excellence has allowed us to create an environment where we as athletes can both thrive on and off the field. This could not have been possible without the support from Ms. Jeanette Flores and Mr. Greg Peterson and the rest of the board members, who have given us the opportunity to make a lasting impact on our community as we create bonds and memories that will last a lifetime. Whether it be through funding our team room, opportunity to experience a trip to San Diego, we have always had the love and support from our community, and we can all agree that none of it would have been possible without the people in this room and the rest of our Charter Oak family. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Steven Lopez. I'm a student at CO and have attended this district since elementary school. I'm part of the varsity football program and have been a charter football player since I was 6. I'd like to come up here and say thank you to our board for the trips, opportunities, and equipment you guys have given us. I'd like to thank Ms. Flores and Mr. Peterson for giving us these opportunities to help our high school experience and football experience. You guys have helped us with have helped us have the experience during our football season and have helped us want to pursue our goals and futures with their contributions. I'm very thankful for what you guys have done for us and would like to just say thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is JD Sanchez, and I am a junior at Charter Oak High School. I just want to say thank you for having my football teammates and I here today. We are beyond blessed for the new team room that you guys gave us and helping us save up money to go to San Diego. And we just want to all come say thank you, and yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jacob Martinez. I'm a junior at Charter Oak High School, but I'm also a member of the Charter Oak football team. I would like to thank the Charter Oak Unified School Board for providing our team with a new team room, a trip to San Diego, and also the inflatable run-through for our football games. Having these privileges not only provides our team with some of the best opportunities around, but also helps to foster a sense of unity, joy, and pride within our community. The school board being so generous as to provide us these things will give all of our players experiences and memories that will never be forgotten. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Mrs. Jeanette Flores and Mr. Greg Peterson for advocating and supporting our endeavors. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Abraham Rose, and I would like to thank you, the board, for all of the constant support that you give us, and especially for the team room and obviously the tunnel and all that. It's allowed us to have like a great time and make memories and all that. And also obviously for San Diego, we're very excited to go and share some new memories and go beat Mira Mesa. Thank you. And and a special thanks to Miss Jeanette Flores for everything. We always see her on the sideline at every game, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Diego Flores. I'm just here to thank every single board member
for everything that you do for the Charter Oak football program. I'm a junior, and I've been in the Charter Oak football program for 3 years, varsity for 2. And I'd just like to thank them for the tunnel, the team room, and the opportunity to go to San Diego and play against Mira Mesa. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pauline Vigo. When I think about my son Kai's journey through Charter Oak District, one word comes to mind: support. Since kindergarten, the district has been more than just a place of education. It's been a partner in ensuring his success. Kai has faced challenges, including an auditory processing disorder, but the district didn't just meet the standards, they set the bar higher. Through his IEP and 504 plan, and with a team of caring, dedicated teachers, Kai was not only understood, but empowered. For that, I am eternally grateful. This past year has been an incredible opportunity to volunteer with the football booster board. I've always been active with Kai's education, but the experience was different. I saw firsthand how a community comes together for the success of its students. And I have to highlight 2 extraordinary individuals, Jeanette Flores and I get nervous, and Greg Peterson. They've advocated, and their leadership has been nothing short of inspiring, and they are truly champions of our youth. But it doesn't stop there. The state-of-the-art locker room, which no one else has, the new charger run-through, these aren't just upgrades. They are symbols of how much we as a community value our children, how we invest in their confidence, their pride, and their future. And on Friday nights, when they show up and work alongside us, that's when it all comes together. It's more than football. It's about community, teamwork, and believing in something bigger than ourselves. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for standing by us, showing up, and for helping us raise not just athletes, but incredible young people. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Encinas. I have lived in the Charter Oak area for over 30 years. I'm an alumni of Charter Oak High School, and I have children at Badillo and Charter Oak currently. I also serve as the Booster Club Secretary for the Big Blue Legacy Circle, which is Charter Oak's football team's booster club, which we are in our inaugural year. Due to the new point of view afforded to me by my involvement in this program, a few things have become abundantly clear. A successful program is not only measured by the wins on the field, but the ability of a community to rally together for one common goal. And that goal is to see our boys thrive in this and every level of life going forward. Thanks to you, our amazing school board, our boys have been provided opportunities to have a high school sports experience to be envied. From a state-of-the-art dream locker room to countless other projects, you have not only showed them their community supports them, but you have allowed them to to our youth. We have been incredibly fortunate as school board members like Jeanette Flores and Greg Peterson make themselves visible to the student body and their families. For everything that you have all done to improve the experience and livelihood of our athletes, I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I look forward to the legacy we all will leave this town one day.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Roxana Figueroa, and I work for Royal Oak Middle School / Community Liaison at the Community Center. First, thank you for having me again. I promise I'm not going to keep you guys more than maybe 1.5 minutes, and I'm not going to. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much once again. You have how grateful I am. I've been in the district since 1993, and I look back how much in the changes that have been happening for the last many, many years. Jeanette, thank you so much for always being there every time I need something. I know that it's just a phone call away, a text, and I know where you live. Dr. Aguilar, the same thing with you. I've known you since you were 5, chasing Darlene around, playing hide and seek. I thank you so much again for, like I said, just a phone call away, a text, and I know where you live. Peter said, I thank you so much again for your happy face all the time. Every time that I see you, your smile makes me even happier. I want to leave you guys with one little quote that I saw and I was reading a couple of nights ago before going to bed. And this is for you, board members. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that you are someone special, that you cannot be replaced. Your heart, your mind, your energy, your care, it cannot be replaced. The universe is a better place for having you in it. Who you are makes a difference. Remember that. From the bottom of my heart, and just to let you know, we just celebrate our 2nd year at the Resource Center. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, everybody, and thank you for coming over here, and have a blessed night. Good night.
Hi, my name is Erin Rivera. I'm a teacher at Royal Oak Middle School. I'm also a parent of a football player, so thank you on behalf of them for that too. But I wanted to thank the board for things other than football at Royal Oak that are happening that I'm starting to see this year. I've always known it was there, but this is the first year I'm working in the intervention at the Homework Club. And it's been such a beautiful experience. So I really want to thank you guys for providing that service for our students, because it's an hour after school each day, and I'm a special ed teacher. And in this hour, I'm seeing our gen ed students, our ELD students, our special education students, and they're working together and they're helping each other. And it's just such an important thing for the school to have that I kind of knew was there, but I'd never really seen it with my own eyes. So I just wanted to come and let you guys know how wonderful it is, and to thank you for supporting that. It's great, because I know there's other interventions at other schools, but that's just the one I happen to know about. And a special thank you to Jeanette Flores, who's always there for my special education students. Every time I talk to her about something going on in my classroom, she's always willing to come. She wants to see what's going on, and you guys have all just been such a support to all students, general ed, special ed, ELD, and I'm fairly new to the community. I've been here, this is my 6th year. I didn't grow up in the community. My kids didn't go to elementary school here. So I feel kind of like a transplant, but I also feel very welcome. And I just love how much each population is supported, and nobody's sort of brushed under the rug, and nobody's highlighted and given special treatment. So I wanted to thank the board for that. Thank you so much.
All right, now for those football players or those who want to leave, you're more than welcome to leave now, because we're gonna have more of the stuff that we had on prior to this. Thank you for being here, appreciate you. Good luck in San Diego.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now we're gonna move on to item 14, discussion. Dr. Jordan.
Thank you. So under item A, there are 3 proposed board policy changes for your review. We're in the discussion phase only. As a reminder, these are recommendations coming from CSBA so that we can update existing policies. So I'll turn it over to the board for any questions or clarification or discussion.
All right, anybody have anything? Dr.
I have one
Aguilar?
question, yeah. Thanks for the hard work on making these updates. Everything looks really good. I did have one question on the first one, policy 2121, superintendent's contract. There's no lines here, so it's hard for me to, but it's actually the very last line of the policy. I just was a little bit, I don't know if I was misunderstanding or not understanding the wording here. It says, however, the board may take action to terminate the superintendent without cause at a regular meeting during any month in which a regular meeting of the board is not scheduled. I just was a little unclear if this was the wording that's proposed or if this is something that in translation just sounded a little off. I wasn't clear on how a regular meeting would happen during a month when a regular meeting is not scheduled.
Really good question. I think what you're trying, it almost contradicts itself from the standpoint that without cause at a regular meeting in which no meeting is scheduled. So if there's a regular meeting, if you have a suggestion, we can reword that, or we can alter that to bring that back for its final review next month.
Okay, I'm just curious, kind of like, so what is the intention there saying?
Well, basically, one of the things that changed in the law is that you can no longer fire the superintendent through a special meeting that's not regularly scheduled without the consent. So that's part of what this is, protection.
Right. So it should be essentially specifying, as the rest of the text does, that it needs to occur during a regular meeting.
During a regular board meeting, that's correct.
Okay.
So we can clean that up a little bit?
Yeah, I think that last part to me just kind of makes it sound a little confusing, the last half of that sentence. So yeah, just allowing that to be a little clearer.
Sure. You have any ideas?
And,
are you making a hint, Dr. Aguilar?
I was also saying, for full disclosure, I have no interest in terminating a superintendent at this particular time. I just am curious about the wording. I like to make sure that the wording is nice and clear. But yeah, so maybe if that last part of the sentence is just left off, just specifying that they may take action without cause during any scheduled regular meeting.
Do you want it to be explicit in saying not, because you can't call a special meeting to
right, so
make that decision? Do you want it to say?
So I think we can just be a little bit more clear by cleaning up some of the wording there.
That's all for me. Thank you.
Moving on to the next item, proposed bond project list.
Great. Last month, we had a discussion with the board as we continue to look at other ways to improve our facilities throughout the district. And so we've been working back on the facility master plan. If you recall, we showed you some data last month that showed how would this community support certain projects in the event that we did go out with a facilities bond, which again, to be really clear, that decision has not been made. If we ever did, the soonest it would be 2026. So the direction from the board last month was to be a little bit more specific of what potential things from the facility master plan would match some of those more supportive percentages from the community. So I'm going to ask Dr. Kim to continue with our discussion tonight, where he'll be a little bit more specific on some of those things and then entertain some conversation with the board afterwards.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Vice President Peterson, Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to continue this conversation and invite a discussion amongst our board with regards to the direction you gave last time, as Dr. Jordan pointed out, is taking a list of favorable items per the polling and to organize it in a fashion that could be suggested as a proposed project list. And so tonight I want to draw your attention to this proposed project list as a draft, and really what it captures are categories or themes per the polled items into areas that we feel strongly that our community would look favorably upon. Allow me to just really highlight each one of these and give some general ideas around it. Item A is our technology infrastructure. This is really, again, that 21st century infrastructure plan, which we've already begun under Eric Martinez's leadership, and really making sure that we have it to completion. The phase 2 portion, all of our elementary schools, we're having an infrastructure that meets the demands and the capacity by which we're using technology in our schools. Item B, or category B, is what I refer to as our safety focus. This is our areas around fire and safety modernization. These are needed areas. These are things as it relates to fire alarms, ensuring we have appropriate intrusion alarms, completing the second phase of our access control. This is making sure that we are using these items to provide quick access to employees into our respective classrooms and buildings. And lastly, just exploring items such as security protection on windows. You'll notice in some of our schools, we've added areas where you can only see out from inside the building and wouldn't be able to see in. And again, hearing feedback from our staff, this would be a nice feature in a security feature in our classrooms. Item C, again, this is going to go back to basic structural repair and maintenance. These are areas of much need across our school district, improving and repairing roofs, HVAC system, plumbing and heating. And that's really self-explanatory. Category D, or theme D, is upgrading older schools, right? And this is what we think about modernization, making sure our classrooms are up to date and include updated painting, flooring, lighting, making sure they're compliant. And a focus really around Royal Oak Middle School as that's an area that was not completed at our last bond. And finally, letter E, another area that we found favorable polling around, and we grouped this together around centering it around the district focus on STEM or STEAM, right? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math instruction and learning. We have a variety of different things and activities that are already being supported, instructed by our teachers, by our staff, everything from robotics to music to art. And we wanted to see what might it look like if we explored adding new classroom facilities that really help support and grow these areas. I'll give one minor example. In our elementary schools, with the growth of TK, we're seeing a lot of classrooms that is almost at near capacity in that school. And so adding these learning centers might give a dedicated space for STEM, dedicated space for music and a music room. So we're really excited about these ideas. At this point, I'd like to invite our board to have a review and a discussion around these themes and see if we want to move forward under your direction as a proposed project list.
Clarification real fast, Andy.
Sure.
On the polling percentage, you have 65.9 on E and 53.6. What's the?
Yeah, what we did was we grouped two different areas, which was around improving lab facilities and then also creating classrooms that have a focus around STEM or STEAM. And so we thought those were both favorable, and we grouped those into one item to say, how might we look at this as more of a STEAM-related or STEM-related learning centers?
Yeah, I appreciate the work here. I like the intelligent approach, especially kind of that grouping there into STEAM, because as you look at facilities, the use of facilities, whether that involves any new development or just modernization of current existing facilities, you know, the more you can be kind of multi-purpose or multi-use, that's just a smart thing to do, right? It's very prudent. I mean, this room, for example, case in point, right? You know, this underwent a remodeling recently and now can serve so many more purposes within the district. So I appreciate that approach. I think that's really smart. The list here, obviously, we've seen many elements of this over the last couple months. And, you know, it faithfully represents what the community has shown are large priorities. And so I think that's a great way to continue to move forward.
The item E, science, technology, engineering, arts, math. Learning center, you talk about separate building?
Potentially, correct.
So we already have a new science building. Now you're saying that we're adding another building called learning centers for robotic, music, art, etc., right?
Yeah, I think the focus would be around the elementary schools as a starting point. We'd examine that as well at the other secondary sites, but looking at what doesn't currently exist at our elementary schools.
Gotcha. That's what I want a clarification. That's right. I got it. It's an elementary school.
Well, I think it's also important to note that when you do eventually go out for a bond, there's a threshold that you can only tax the community on. Right now, we're showing about an $84 million need, and that's with prices if we built it or did any of this work today. So you know that down the road, with inflation and the cost of other type of expenses and labor and materials, that goes up. So I think today what we're looking for is more of a direction from the board that will allow us to go out and start educating our employees, our community members, saying, here are some ideas that we have. We have this need. Here's the work that we've done already with our other resources. We now don't have those resources available. We need your help. This is what it would look like. And then from that point, still solicit some more input and educate people how this will impact students for the next 30 years in Charter Oak Unified.
So narrowing down our focus for the public to better understand our needs.
Well, I think, I don't say, I would say narrow, because remember, we also work in conjunction where you've met the Team Civics, which is our consultant for the bond. This is still fairly generic. It still gives us a chance to give a good picture of our needs, have people provide input, and then if the board decides down the road to go out for a facilities bond, then you could narrow this down at that point and be very specific.
Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Peterson. Item A is specifically focused on phase 2 of the improvement of infrastructures. That's separate, I got that. Now, item E is for 30 million for the learning center that also improve the technology infrastructure as well.
Those would be two separate items. So think about item E around more focused on what hands-on student things students can work within, like a building, working around with an equipment in there. Item A would be entirely infrastructure, things that happen behind the scenes, the networking, the cabling, the Wi-Fi access control points.
But I'm not sure, I'm not clear with the question myself. Item E, the $30 million projected, $30 million, does that also include technology infrastructure too?
Maybe I can help out on that. I think item E, that is looking at developing some type of space to host these classes. Your technology question is actually built up into area B, where you see fire and safety modernization, the third bullet, completing phase 2 of the access control, and we can also include our technology in there as well. Well, actually, I should say our technology is part of A.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
So one of the recommendations potentially would be is if the board is pleased with the wording of this right now, is that we can add a board draft, and then that will allow staff and myself to start going out and talking to folks to share with them that this is a draft that the board has shown interest in wanting to move forward with.
In a
It'd be a K-12 setting, so it could be taking like rooms at the middle school and the high school, and it could be gutting them and modernizing them to meet these needs. But as Dr. Kim had mentioned, at the elementary school, we are pretty much tapped out on space, so we would need to explore is would we be able to build something that would be a multi-purpose type of facility that would be able to accomplish all these for our elementary students. Because remember, we're now running a grade 1 through 6 program where every student's getting a music experience, and then as soon as we can hire an art teacher, the other request was to give all those students an example to have an experience in art as well, which is pretty powerful because that's not happening everywhere.
Clarification on the $84 million, it's just, this is looking at the 2026?
Well,
that amount?
The 84 million, so remember when we presented the facility master plan to you a year ago? The architect also put price tags to the projects. Now that's over a year old. So what we've done is we have taken those dollar amounts that were given to us and we have plugged them into this. They are all just approximate placeholders. At the end of the day, when we decide to go out, we may have a threshold of a certain dollar amount and some things will have to come off to meet that need. The other thing that we'll have to do too, down the road, is after we've educated the community, we're gonna need to probably poll the community again to see if they still will support this. And that's also where we get a gauge to see what level of tax would they be able to support? Would it be lower, so you gotta do less projects? Would it be higher, then you can maybe do more projects? But those are all speculation. Our job right now is to educate everybody first. And Dr. Kim has been involved with that along with the rest of our district team. And so I'm confident that we'll be able to start taking steps to move forward with that.
I'm with him with a reservation about this because of the high costs.
It's a draft.
Yeah, it's just a draft, and I understand that. It's kind of rough figures. I remember we had a survey done. What would the survey show that the people are comfortable with? What's the maximum amount of money?
Really good question. That's why we decided to pause for the November election this year, because there was a little bit higher support somewhere around the $50 million range. And we knew that that lower end would not complete as many projects. So if you recall, we had a discussion about saying, let's slow it down. Let's educate everyone, be a little bit more specific of what our needs are. And maybe after educating people over the next year and a half, we might be able to raise the value. Remember also, there's a lot of other components of this. This isn't just you say, here's the list, go do it. We also need to start doing some presentations from our financial planner and our with Kegent, who would have to come in and talk about implications of what taxes look like, what that does to our community. We also have some old bonds that potentially are going to fall off soon. So there's a lot of things that are still ahead of us. But if we wait until, May of 2026 to do all this work, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. So it's really important that we take and do the work now the next 2 years.
I like that plan, yeah.
Okay, we'll keep you updated.
Thank you. All right, now we're gonna move on to action items. Business services, action items number 15A1, approval of the 2023-2024 unaudited actuals.
I'll move it.
Can I get a second?
I'll make the second.
Any discussion?
Thank you to Ms. Bradford for her hard work and your team.
It appears that we managed really well, but it doesn't mean we have a lot of money. We still have to keep it. We have to be tight on our belt anyway, but that's a good picture to show that's where we're at. It doesn't mean we have a lot of money. And I want to thank the district, the entire district for doing the effort to keep the cost down, and especially in your department. Thank you.
All right, nothing further, we'll call for the vote. Ms. Downs? Mr. Creighton? Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mrs. Flores?
Yes.
Dr. Aguilar?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. Motion passes 4-0. 2 student reps also in the affirmative. Which takes us to item 15A2. Second page, there you go. Resolution 1523-24, district appropriation limits for 24-25. Can I get a motion to put that on?
I'll make the motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No discussion, I'll go for the vote. Oh, you going to?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Mr. Creighton? Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mrs. Flores?
Yes.
Dr. Aguilar?
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Motion passes 4-0 with the student reps in the affirmative also. Takes us to educational services 15B1. And this is a public hearing.
So we'll open up for a public hearing and see if anybody wishes to address.
Open this up to a public hearing at 8:26 regarding sufficiency of instructional materials. Do you have any cards? All right, that being said, I'll go ahead and close it. And that's it on that one. And then we'll go to item number 2B2, resolution 132324, and certification regarding sufficiency of instruction materials.
I'll make a motion to bring this to the floor.
We got a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Rose, any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote. Ms. Valentine? Yes. Mr. Creighton? Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mrs. Flores?
Yes.
Dr. Aguilar?
Yes.
All right, I'm also a yes. Motion passes 4-0 with the 2 student reps and affirm also. Takes us to Human Resources, 15C1, Resolution 172223, week of the school administrator, which is October 13 through the 19th.
I'll make the motion.
Can I get a second?
No second?
All right, any discussion?
Just simply, I would like to add that, it's always exciting to honor our various employees across the district. In this particular case, the administrators. We see some administrators here joining us this evening. And so thank you for all of your hard work that you do for our district and all of our students.
Second that. Thank you.
Mr. Rose? Yeah?
No.
I'd also like to thank all the administrators. You know, we are up here making some decisions, but you guys are putting in the work all the time. And those at the school sites, we appreciate all the hard work you guys do on a regular basis. Thank you. All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. Mrs. Johnson? Mr. Creighton? Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mrs. Flores?
Yes.
Dr. Aguilar?
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Motion passes 4-0 with the 2 student reps and affirm. That takes us to our consent calendar. Are there any items of anyone on hold? None? Go. Okay. Yes, sir. Make a motion, Mr. Reyes, make the motion.
I'll second.
All right. Call for the vote. Ms. Johnson? Yes, Creighton? Mr. Rose? Yes. Ms. Flores?
Yes.
Dr. Aguilar?
Yes.
And I'm also a yes. Motion passes 4-0 with our 2 student reps in the affirm. All right, that takes us to board comments. Mr. Rose?
I want to welcome the 2 new board members here. Student board members, welcome the board. Join us as much as you can for the photo ops, and your votes count. Welcome to the board, and I hope you will enjoy it. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Flores?
Welcome to our amazing student reps. We hope you enjoy your time here, and feel free to ask questions. You know, if you want to shadow anyone, if you want free lunch, Dr. Kim will buy you free lunch. So ask lots of questions, learn a lot, and we're happy that you're here. I also want to recognize Latino Heritage Month. As the first Latina on this board, it is an honor and a privilege to be here and serve you all. So I just want to acknowledge our Latinos and our diverse community that we have here at Charter Oak. So thank you, everyone. And I want to thank the community that came out to speak as well. It's always great to see our student athletes here. And I wish them well as they play in San Diego. So thank you all, and let's have a great month. And it's almost October, so hopefully we'll have a great fall. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Yes, again, echoing a welcome to both of our new student board members. All students across the district can always approach us at any time, but certainly you guys get to work with us here on a regular basis. So feel free to reach out with anything you need at any point, email, whatever the case may be, and we'll bring you guys along. So thanks for being here and putting in the work. Let's see, a couple of things to highlight. Attended the district tailgate, as all of us did this past week, and that was amazing. Great show of strong community, seeing our employees out there being recognized, seeing our staff, our administrators who we're getting ready to honor as well, supporting them and providing them with great swag. Actually, we see some hats up here as well that our staff were able to receive, and our student board members as well. So that's been really exciting. It was great, and it was capped off with an awesome football game, really exciting football game. So congratulations to the team. It was a close one, but to me, they're all victories when they play that hard, right? Because at the end of the day, as they mentioned, success isn't always counted just on the wins and losses, but on what these students are developing on that football field, and you can see that character develop extensively, including that night. So that was awesome. Also, plugging the Oak Tree Challenge. We mentioned a little earlier, Charter Oak End Foundation is putting on the Oak Tree Challenge. So I'll go out there again and run. I'll be running on behalf of the board. See what I could do. I did get a medal last year. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, every year is a different year, and every year I'm getting a little older. So let's set that bar low, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So I hope to see a lot of you guys out there. Come and join, or if it's a little too warm to run, just be there to support, and all that's great as well. And then also wanted to highlight the great travel that we've been able to support of our various student groups. You know, obviously we heard today here from our football team and how excited they are to head down to San Diego. We also on our consent calendar today approved the ability of our drama program to travel to Edinburgh, Scotland again, as they did previously and represented our district extremely well. And it's exciting to be able to send them again to have even more success. So again, just kind of highlighting that it's fantastic to see these students get these amazing opportunities. And, you know, certainly none of us joined the team for the thanks specifically, but to receive that thanks, it really is very meaningful and quite an honor. So thank you back to everybody for that. And that'll do it for me.
Okay, thank you. I want to first start out by just saying thank you to this board. The work that you've done and the things that we heard tonight for your leadership and your guidance is just phenomenal. And you should feel really proud of the work that's been done and what our staffs are doing on a daily basis. I want to say thank you to all of our employees, both at the district level and the site level. We have really good people who really do care about educating kids. And I think in the last 5 years, the work that's being done right now is very evident by just some of the things that we heard from our own employees as well as some community members, where the culture that we wanted to create is how, A, do we get along with each other? How are we able to work and problem solve? Because like a good family, everything's not perfect every single day. How do we be able to agree on how to move forward? And I think that we have now learned how to do those things as a school district. How do we come together to support kids? And again, that comes, I think, from the work that's being done on a daily basis by our site administrators, by our teachers, by our classified support staff, by our district office leaders, by our board. We've got amazing community members. When you open the door, they actually are excited about coming and being a part of something special, which is Charter Oak Unified. And our job is to continue doing that, whether they are the support groups that fundraise for our groups, or they just want to come volunteer on our campuses. We've got really powerful students. We've now ran for 5 years our student advisory team, where every school represents work that they do with my team. And when you look at that, if you give students the opportunity to have a voice, you need to do more listening as an adult, because they are very powerful with their ideas and the things that they think can be done. We've been out, as I mentioned earlier, doing classroom visits, and it's just been fun going into the rooms and having students, you know, nudge on you as you walk by saying, "Do you remember me?" "Yeah, I remember you." What school did you go to?" "I was at Glen Oak." "God, you look so different now. You're a ninth grader," you know, and those are really powerful. I say that because I'm really proud of the work that we've done in Charter Oak for the last 5 years. And I want to announce tonight that I feel like this is a perfect transition time for me to announce my retirement effective January 1st, 2025. I just want to say thank you. Charter Oak from day one has welcomed me as part of the family, and I really feel like we've done good work. Our organization right now is in a really good spot, and I think that we have really clear expectations, as you can see by our presentations. We've got a really clear vision, and I hope the board continues with that vision, because our staffs have worked really hard to make sure that Charter Oak is on the map and doing great things. So thank you to each of you, and I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
that we've had in working together for our students. And it's always good that they welcome us with open arms, and we appreciate their collaboration. The Future Chargers tailgate, which is another thing you brought in, was phenomenal. Again, it's a great way to thank our staff and let them know we appreciate them. Seeing the kids on the field for the tunnel for the athletes is also, it's fun for the students. My daughter was part of that in the past. She enjoyed it, and I know those kids it's something they're going to remember. So you've done an excellent job with that also. The back to school nights, those are exciting as always. Getting out there with the teachers, hearing the teachers, my kid not wanting me to go into the classrooms is an event. But getting in there, talking with the teachers, knowing my child is in good hands with who we have in those classrooms, it makes me feel better when I leave. We're very fortunate to have such great people taking care of our kids. The program specialists we have doing all the great things that they're doing, the interventions, et cetera. All these things that you've brought in are making our kids better. You're giving them better opportunities to succeed as they go. So your legacy, although you've been here 5 years, your legacy is going to continue on way past that. So enough of that. But it's hard to believe we're already in the first grading period. It's 5 weeks in already. So it's going quick. This year's going to go by faster than I want it. I know my kid's going to be hitting high school next year, so I kind of want time to slow down a little bit. But it's going fast. I think that's all I have. Thank you, Carell, for all the hard work. Yeah, you're just phenomenal. You are phenomenal. I think that's all I have. So with that, our future meeting is October 3rd, and that's going to be, we believe, the first time, another first, is a joint meeting with the Covina City Council. It's a board study session regarding the Royal Oak Middle School project that we've been pushing here. And that's going to be October 3rd. Is that going to be here?
Yeah, I think for clarification, there's actually 2 meetings. It'll be here at Charter Oak Unified. The meeting at 5 o'clock is going to be a joint meeting, as you said, with the council and the board. There will be a presentation about the work that's been done, about the proposed improvements to the grounds at Royal Oak High School, or Royal Oak Middle School. And then when that meeting's over at 6:30, we will hold our normal board study session, and the topic that night's on special education.
Once again, it's here.
Both those are
Both are
here.
here, okay, all right, excellent. All right, so October 3rd, 2024, joint council meeting, and our board study session will be here. And with that being said, there's no further reason for closed session, and we are adjourned at 8:42.
Good job.
Ooh.
Good job.
Yeah.